They told you awakening Kundalini requires discipline, rituals, and years of inner work. But what if the true key was never in the chants or poses, but in a forgotten energy point? A sacred gateway, hidden right where your head meets your neck. Just a soft, present touch at this point, and your entire chakra system can awaken instantly. No struggle, no dogma, just remembrance. The ancients knew it. Science is beginning to rediscover it. And now, you feel it. If this resonates already, tap like, drop a fire emoji in the comments, and share this awakening with someone you love. Let's begin.
But somewhere along the way, this knowledge was suppressed, lost beneath centuries of ritual, dogma, and distraction. Modern society gave you tools that silenced your senses: phones, apps, meditations disconnected from the body. You were taught to seek out there, but the ancient mystics knew it always started back here. Because this point connects three powerful energetic currents: Ida, Pingala, and Shushumna. It is where breath, awareness, and soul converge. It's not just a chakra point, it's the spark plug of your spiritual engine. And once you touch it with conscious intention, everything changes. You may feel warmth, tingling, inner light, or even an emotional wave that seems to rise from nowhere. That's because you didn't just touch your body, you touched your remembrance. This is not a metaphor. This is electric, energetic, divine. And now that the spark is lit, let's follow the current as it flows to the first gate, the root.
There's a point at the base of your skull, right where your head meets your spine, that almost no one talks about. Not doctors, not yoga teachers, not spiritual influencers. But in ancient times, this exact location was considered sacred. It was known as Bindu in Tantra, Feng Fu in Taoist medicine, the eye of the nape among Egyptian initiates. This point wasn't just physical, it was metaphysical, a hidden gateway, a convergence of worlds. In old scrolls, it was described as the place where heaven kisses earth, where divine intelligence enters the nervous system, where the veil thins. And when activated with presence, not pressure, this point sends a spark through the body, a tremor through the spine, a whisper through the soul. It is the true ignition point of Kundalini. In Taoist medicine, this area is known to influence the autonomic nervous system, the system that regulates your heartbeat, your breath, your subconscious. In modern science, this region connects with the reticular formation, which controls arousal, awareness, and integration between brain and body. In other words, this tiny point governs your state of being. And when you activate it with intention, something extraordinary happens. The electromagnetic field around your body, the aura, begins to shift. You're no longer just flesh, you're energy, awake. This point is like a sacred switch hidden in plain sight. Not mystical poetry, but literal bioelectric truth.
And as the current activates, the dormant energy within your root begins to rise. Let's follow it into the first chakra, the gate of stability. But what they didn't tell you is where the ignition begins. Because the real spark doesn't come from the root. It comes from the back of your neck. Right here, at the forbidden point, 3 major energy currents intersect: Ida, Pingala, and Shushumna. Ida flows lunar, cooling, feminine. Pingala flows solar, heating, masculine. And Shushumna, it's the central highway, the spine, the silent stream that carries divine intelligence up through all 7 chakras. This hidden point acts like a gatekeeper, a spiritual ignition switch. When touched with awareness, not pressure, it sends a pulse through the nervous system. That pulse reaches the sacrum, the root. It wakes the serpent, and the serpent remembers its path. As the current flows downward, it reaches the base of your spine, the root chakra or Muladhara. This is where your journey through the chakras truly begins, but not in the way you've been told. Most people think of the root as a place of survival, fight or flight, basic needs, and while that's partially true, it's only the surface. Muladhara is the foundation of remembrance. It holds the memory of your belonging to Earth, your right to be here, not because you earned it, but because you are it. Earth isn't separate from you. It's your body's deepest code. When the spark from the back of your neck reaches this root, you begin to feel safe. Not because the world changed, but because you're no longer disconnected from it. You stop running, you stop clinging, you land. And in that landing, something ancient rises, a sense of inner weight, gravity, strength. You remember that you are supported, not by systems or status, but by the ground beneath you and the soul within you. This is not just stability, it's energetic anchoring. Before any light can rise, it needs a place to stand. Muladhara gives it that ground. And now that your feet are planted, your body steady, the current is ready to flow forward into your center of creation. As the current rises from the root, it flows like warm water into your lower abdomen. Here rests the sacral chakra, Swadhisthana, the seat of your emotions, your sensuality, your power to create. This isn't just about pleasure, it's about presence. When energy reaches this chakra, you begin to feel again, not just react, but feel deeply. The joy you forgot, the sadness you buried, the desire you were told to suppress. Here, emotion becomes movement, creation becomes sacred. The ancients didn't separate spirituality from sensuality. To them, your creative fire was holy. To feel beauty, to create life, to dance, to flow, these were acts of divine remembrance. When this chakra awakens, it doesn't just unblock your feelings, it restores your innocence. You no longer chase validation. You become the river itself, expressing, flowing, surrendering to the sacred rhythm of your being. This is where you reclaim the right to experience, to enjoy, to express. You remember that your body is not a problem. It is the portal. And from this flowing center, the current rises once again, stronger, brighter, heading into the core of your personal power. From the waters of emotion, the current now climbs upward into your solar plexus. Here lies the Manipura chakra, your internal sun, your center of action, confidence, and will. This isn't just energy, this is fire. When this chakra awakens, you no longer move out of fear. You move with clarity, with direction. You no longer try to control the world. You realize that you are the force that shapes it. Manipura is the place where purpose meets power, where the soul says, I choose, I move, I shine. You begin to remember that you were never powerless, just unlit. And now, with energy rising through your spine, your inner flame ignites. It burns through hesitation. It dissolves self-doubt. It reclaims your ability to act from within, not from pressure, not from fear, but from truth. This is where leadership begins, where decisions are no longer reactions, but radiance, where confidence becomes calm, where doing becomes sacred. And as the fire of your will stabilizes, something softer, deeper begins to open. The current rises again into the sacred chamber of the heart. The fire has done its work. Now the current rises gently into the space behind your sternum. This is Anahata, the heart chakra, but not the heart of romance, attachment, or sentimentality. This is the sacred center of your soul's remembrance. When energy reaches the heart, it doesn't explode, it blooms, like a flower that's waited lifetimes to open. You begin to feel love not just for others, but for your essence, for existence itself. You realize that love is not something you give or receive, it's what you are. In Anahata, the illusion of separation begins to dissolve. Your breath feels deeper, your energy lighter. The ache in your chest isn't sadness, it's expansion. It's your soul remembering its original size. You don't just love, you revere. You see yourself reflected in all things, in strangers, in animals, in trees, in stars. And suddenly, life becomes a living mirror. Every interaction a message, every challenge a lesson in deeper compassion. But this love doesn't make you soft, it makes you strong, because now you have something real to protect, your own divine essence. This is where healing begins, not from fixing, but from remembering. And when this love is no longer something you search for, but something that flows through you, the current rises again, not as fire, not as water, but as truth, ready to speak, ready to see, as it enters the realm of the throat and the third eye. The current now rises into your throat. This is Vishuddha, the chakra of expression, of vibration, of pure truth. Here, energy transforms into voice, but not the voice you were taught to use, not the polite, filtered echo of society. This is the vibration of your soul finally set free. You speak less, but everything you say carries weight. Your words become arrows of clarity, not to impress, but to resonate. When Vishuddha awakens, your entire life recalibrates. Because lies feel heavier, half-truths echo louder, and silence becomes sacred again. From the throat, the current ascends into the space between your eyebrows, the third eye, ajna, where insight is born, where pattern becomes prophecy, where symbols begin to speak. This is not imagination. This is remembering. Visions, synchronicities, recurring dreams. You start to see through the skin of reality. You notice signs in shadows, messages in moments, meanings in what others miss. Ajna is not about seeing the future. It's about seeing the present clearly for the first time. You begin to realize your life was never random. It was always speaking to you. You just weren't listening through the right frequency. Now your throat has spoken, your mind has opened, and the current is ready to complete its final ascent, not to separate from the body, but to unite with all that is in the crown of light. The current now reaches its final threshold, the top of your head, the crown chakra, Sahasrara, the lotus of 1,000 petals, the gateway between your soul and the cosmos. When this center awakens, there is no explosion, there is no sound, only stillness. But it is a stillness so vast, so radiant, that it silences the mind and floods the spirit. You no longer seek connection, you become connection. You realize you were never inside the universe was always inside you. This is not fantasy, this is union. Every chakra until now was a step. Every emotion, every memory, every breath was a rung on the ladder. And now you've arrived, not at the end, but at the beginning of remembrance. You are not awakening something new. You are awakening what was always you. From the root to the crown, the current has risen, and now it falls back gently, bathing every center in wisdom, in light, in presence. Let this be the moment you stop searching. Let this be the moment you remember. You are divine. You are electric. You are home.
Now that you've remembered the power of this sacred point, how do you use it in real life? You don't need a ritual. You don't need crystals, incense, or chants. You just need 2 fingers and intention. Use this technique 5 times a day. Each moment aligns with a deeper layer of your being. Each touch is a return to truth. Morning touch. Before anything else, before opening your eyes, place 2 fingers at the base of your skull. Breathe deeply. Let your first action of the day be a reconnection, not to the world, but to your field. Midday centering. When the chaos of life swirls, pause, close your eyes, touch the point, feel your field return to alignment. This is your energetic reset button. Before creation, whether writing, speaking, or creating, activate the point to open the channel. It sets your frequency to truth. It clears noise and awakens inspiration. Emotional storms, during stress, fear, or sadness, come back here. This point holds stillness. It calms the nervous system and reminds you that you are not the storm, you are the sky. Before sleep, place your fingers on the point before bed. This invites lucid dreaming, healing downloads, and subconscious alignment. It turns sleep into sacred voyage. Each touch is a remembrance ritual. Each moment a step back into your true energy. Now you know the key. Now you know the path. Use it and return home daily. This video didn't find you by accident. You didn't arrive here through curiosity. You were called because something deep inside you is ready to awaken, ready to feel, ready to remember. This isn't just a chakra technique, it's a legacy, a forgotten key passed through timelines buried by time, now placed in your hands. Every time you touch that sacred point, you're not just activating energy, you're tuning an ancient string. You're lighting the temple of your body. You're saying to the universe, I'm ready. Return to truth. Return to alignment. Return to the self that was never lost, only sleeping. If this video stirred something within you, tap like, drop a fire emoji in the comments, and share this with a soul that's ready to remember. And don't forget to subscribe to join this journey of ancient power, hidden wisdom, and spiritual remembrance. This is only the beginning. We'll see you at the next portal. Until then, touch with presence, breathe with soul, and let your body lead the way home.